Do you like playing games on a lunchbox? I sure do. It's called the Nintendo GameCube, also known as GCN, GameCube Nintendo. Sounds very cool, I'd say. So what's going on, everyone? My name's Frosty R&B. Today, I'd like to showcase my GameCube collection. It's been quite a bit of requested, but not too much actually, because the GameCube is a very highly demanded system, which I am missing a few games for because apparently I can't find them in the house for whatever reason. But yes, I have the original purple indigo GameCube. My GameCube is actually quite beaten up because the disc tray, it has a hard time like closing, so I have to nudge this button. But how I play my GameCube games these days is using this adapter called the Eon GameCube adapter, which pretty much converts the the color cables into HDMI power, and that's how I stream my games. Now, the biggest flaw with this one is that when I stream the games on the GameCube, sound quality is very, very low. So meaning like it's too quiet. So I had to like reamp it and remap it, but it's not a big deal. The GameCube was the very first Nintendo console to utilize the cartridge transitioning to tiny CDs, like the CDs that you would use on your old laptops, and it would actually require one of the at least a memory card. So if you don't have a memory card, you can't fully enjoy GameCube games because save is a big deal. Now this is a wireless controller adapter, which I'm going to show off my controllers now, which is we're going to start with the Wavebird. You have to be in the same channel as the Wavebird, otherwise it's not going to really pick up. And then the GameCube game, the GameCube controller I have that came with this one's the purple indigo. And then I have the Spice Orange. I also have the Jet Black controller, but that's back at the dorms because this is coming with me. So the GameCube was actually supported by a few adapters. This one you take it out and you would plug in a accessory called the Game Boy player, which I apparently can't find for whatever reason in the house. But it would let you play GBA games and Game Boy Color games on your bigger screen, which is really good for recording, by the way. And then this is the Broadwind adapter, so pretty much you could connect the internet or have multiple GameCubes plugged into the same TV, and you could have up to 16 players, which is really cool. Very few games supported this, but I know Kirby's Air Ride, Mario Kart Double Dash, and Fantasy Star Online supported the Manworth adapter, but I don't have any of those games in this collection, unfortunately, besides Double Dash. So I have more memory cards, which we will go into in the collection video, but this is the 1019 memory card, first party, biggest one that you can find for GameCube. Do not plug in this into your Wii console because the Wii console will literally corrupt this like easily. So this is where all my 100% completed games go on. This is all the games where I have not 100% completed will go on to this one. And this is the safest. This is your safest option if you're going to GameCube collecting, especially if you're playing on the Wii. So, and how I'm going to be transferring these games into from here, I'm not going to take any of the cases. I'm actually going to use this CD disc sleeves. So that's how I'm going to be playing the GameCubes and the dorms. So let's go ahead and get started with the game. So I am missing a few games which I can't find in my house for whatever reason. I don't know. Let's get into the GameCube games, guys. So I have Animal Crossing. This one supports e-reader, which who cares about the e-reader as much. This one came with a limited edition memory card, and this is the Animal Crossing game. For those who remember, you can play NES games. It's like NES emulations, which is quite interesting. Oh, and by the way, none of these games have the player's choice or, Nintendo Selects kind of deal because the artwork is yellow. The yellow will be over here. It looks very ugly. But to tell that, because I know some sellers tend to do this on eBay, two ways you can tell the difference between a player's choice, bestseller, or original version is to check out the disc. If it's super shiny on the cover, like the letters font, that's how you know you have the original. Also, if you want to be very, very extra careful, you can look at the back of the disc where it says DOL, and if you look at the 3 last digits, I know it's hard to see on camera, but if it says 0-00, you have the OG version. If it's 00, if it's 0-01, it would be bestseller. Now, and then 0-02, it would have player's choice. Now, many tournaments that are competitive GameCube games like Melee, it's going to be, 0-02 because it's player's choice. Now, the main reason I'm bringing this up is because GameCube games are very expensive, because that's one of the few factors. But player's choice is considered to be much cheaper for some games. There are some exceptions, but if you have the original Smash Melee, that's one great example, because it's a $10 difference between original versus player's choice. But Melee is an expensive game to begin with anyways. So there's that. That's Animal Crossing and the differences between the player's choice variants. Then we get into Bomberman Jetters. This came out after Bomberman Jetters, which I can't find for whatever reason in my house, but Bomberman Jetters, it's a game based off of the anime. I think it tells a story in between, close to the ending. 3D puzzle game for Bomberman. Really bad voice acting. This game did came out like 2 years after. I think it's 2 years or a year after on the PS2. Japan exclusive, where they took out the cel shaded graphics, but they added the anime opening song in that version, where this one they have the guitar solo, which is good. I mean, don't get me wrong, but yeah, the VA in this game is really bad. Billy Hatchet and Giant Egg. I have never played this game before. I recently picked it up for a decent price. This one, I heard it's pretty much like Sonic. It's like Sonic with Caddy Damacy elements. So I'm excited to try this one out when I have the time. So, I mean, it's made by Sega, the Sega team, so it must be pretty good. Another one I have not gave enough time to play, but Chibi, Plug-in Adventure. I mean, you have a robot, what does he do? He cooks, he cleans, he annihilates. What more can I say? This one's one of the more expensive games as well. You're gonna see a noticeable trend in this GameCube, because collectors hate the GameCube's price because how expensive it is. But Chibi Robo is one of the many examples of it. I will be trying this game out very, very soon. I'm actually quite excited because I've been quite curious about this game for quite a while. But Chibi Robo, I'm excited. Next up, we got Custom Robo, a action RPG game where it uses real-time strategy and such. It's really good. I mean, there's only one thing I gotta do in this game, which is I got to collect the last gold cup, and I'll be 100% done with this game. But it's pretty hard. It's a very uncommon game. If you can find it, I highly recommend picking it up. Just don't kill your wallet, of course. Yeah, most of these games I have 100% in, and I'm gonna mention that as well in this video. I don't mean just beat the game. I mean literally get everything. So Custom Robo, very solid title. Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix, honestly the easiest DDR game, just with Mario. So this one did implement a story mode, but it's so boring. I really wish I had the dance pad, but if you're trying to get into DDR, I would recommend this game as your first game. Very solid, very easy. Most expensive game in my collection, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Honestly, you're gonna be looking around to spend like $150 for this one. If you're looking for disc only, it goes for $75. Oh boy, but this is a really, really solid Fire Emblem game. Honestly, this is actually my first one, believe it or not. Mainly because I don't know, like Awakening didn't appeal to me, but if you're looking for a Fire Emblem game, if you can actually find it in a while for a decent price, don't kill your wallets, by the way, I highly recommend this one over Awakening. But I know most people use Dolphin for this, but yes, I have a physical copy. Very solid game. Next up, we got another expensive game, F-Zero GX. It implemented it's a it does a cross interaction between this one and AX. You literally take your memory card and you just plug into a AX cabinet, which is very unlikely to find these days. because this came out what, 2004? Yeah, 2003. But GX is one of the most difficult games that Nintendo has ever made. And by the way, this is the memory card where I keep all non-transfer data like F-Zero GX. I have 100% of this game, and oh my gosh, it's so difficult. I don't know how I did it. I mean, I tried replaying on stream like 2 months ago. Yeah, I must have no life when I was in high school, but it's a very, very good title. Last console F-Zero game to ever be released. The last official F-Zero game to ever come out in North America, I believe it's GP Legend, but GP Legend's difficulty does not even come close to this one. Very fast paced. Then we move on to the Zeldas. Four Sword Adventures. Very, very cool intake in my personal opinion. One of the better Zelda games for sure. Definitely more of a mid game in my personal opinion, because it's I don't recommend for people to actually start with this one as your very first Zelda game. There are better options, but this one's more like a kind of like a spin-off. I would definitely say this is more a spin-off, but some people may argue that this belongs in the main timeline, blah 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 blah. I don't care about the timeline, to be honest, but it's a very good one. You can play this one, you can have a very enjoyable experience with this one with single player, unlike Triforce Heroes. So, very interesting game. Next up, we got Wind Waker. Oh, sorry, it's called The Wind Waker. Now, this game, believe it or not, once upon a time, this game was actually considered to be really, really hated when it was first revealed in, like, I think E3 or Space World or something. Everyone hated the chibi graphics, the cel shading graphics, Link showing it more emotional, way too cartoony. Yeah, you name it. Many people hated it. Until a few years later, this was considered to be one of the greatest Zelda games ever made. They have remade this one for the Wii U. However, I've never played the Wii U version. I don't know, never got a chance to, but this game is very good. It still holds up today. I have 100% of this game. I will gladly do it again on Twitch. Definitely pick it up. Although, just worth noting, if you're going for 100% completion, you may need the GBA to GCN cable, just because there's one side quest that requires it, if I'm not mistaken. So take a can of sugar, but it's a very solid title. Next up, we have Twilight Princess. Now, here's the funny part. This game got a huge praise when it was first revealed. And then, what's funny is that the fan base... Remember how I talked about Wind Waker having like a really, really bad first impressions? It's kind of like the exact opposite, where most people consider this one to be in a drag Zelda game because it's like 50 hours long to 100%. But I would say this is a very solid title. It has been remade and it has been ported to the Wii before. The Wii version, all it did was, because Link is left-handed, they literally just mirrored the entire game, which is my personal opinion. I couldn't get into the Wii version, so I highly recommend the GameCube version or the Twilight Princess HD because of that reason. But a very solid title, very good OST. I would say the GameCube's the hardest one to find because it came out pretty late for the GameCube. So there's that. The original Luigi's Mansion, honestly, many people really question this game's release, and that's the whole trend with Nintendo GameCube games, just in general. It's pretty much a ghost-busting game, horror game, very, very interesting. I would probably say this is my favorite one, although I do like Luigi's Mansion 3, that's a second close contender. But yeah, this is more like a tech demo for what the GameCube could truly do, and not only that, this game is way too expensive. It's only like what? It only takes like what, 3 hours to complete this game 100%, and it's, yeah, you're gonna see that a lot with GameCube games. Now we got Mario Kart Double Dash. It's Mario Kart with 2 people. The Double Dash mechanic works very well. Honestly, one of the more difficult Mario Kart games to 100% because there is a mode called I think it's called the All Cup Challenge, where you pretty much race all the cups together on one run. I think it's 45 minutes each, but Very solid title. Honestly, I think that this one still holds up today, whereas like the previous Mario Kart games, not really. But this one does support the band board, as I mentioned before, but it's a very good game. I highly recommend it. Koopa Troopa with Toad for the win. The only Mario Party game I have in my GameCube collection, it's Mario Party 4. Honestly, I remember when I first got this game, actually. So, I remember this was released when I was in, I think, grade 2? I think I was in grade 2 or grade 3 in grade school, where I saw the commercial. My dad saw me watch the commercial, and I got super excited, although the acting in the commercial was very bad, but yeah, but I'm grateful for this game because it's probably one of the last good Mario Party games in terms of like, you know, general play and whatnot, but I really like this game. And all of that, I mean, it's very special to me because of that reason. So, Birthday Party, I mean, it has a story mode, but you know, you don't really pay Mario Party games for story mode. Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes. Also, they have T. I just realized the abbreviation's T. But Metal Gear Solid, I have not played much of this. I tried getting into it before. It wasn't really my cup of tea, but I'm gonna try again. All I know is that this is a retelling of the first game for the PlayStation 1. So I will consider trying this one again, although I don't know. This one's like, it's like stealthy, so I'm not good with stealth games. Metroid Prime 1, honestly, the one Metroid game I completely forget, to be honest, because I don't really have much memories with this game, because it's just, I had to use a guide, to be honest, but very, very cool if you can integrate it with Metroid Fusion, by the way. It's very cool. But this is the shift between Super Metroid. I think this game came out the same day as Fusion, and I picked up Fusion because I was more into 2D. But this one's a first-person adventure game. Still considers a shooter, to be honest. But very, very good soundtracks. I will give it to that. So, Metroid Prime. Then we get Prime 2, foil cover. The one game I remember I got for Christmas, I think in 2000, I remember I got this one when it was released, the year it was released, but this is my transition in between like super kiddie games to more quote-unquote serious games, because I really liked Samus, I really liked Metroid Fusion, and because Prime 1 didn't really appeal to me, and by the way, this is probably the one game in the trilogy that most people do not like because how difficult it is. I will admit though, the ammo elimination for beams is a little awkward, but I wouldn't dismiss this game, to be honest. I would dare to say this is the best one in the trilogy, because it may be because nostalgia taken into it, but Tora's Bog is a really good soundtrack, but very solid game. Very challenging. I highly recommend it if you're into difficult games. I recommend this one. Besides, Samus, who doesn't like Samus Aran? I've talked about this game so many times on stream. Honestly, it's a good game if you're going for, you know, just finishing main game, but this game does not deserve. Okay, you can flame me if you guys choose to do so, but this game does not deserve a remake, because the whole problem I had with this game for 100% completing was its engine revolves around backtracking. I can name, okay, so the chapters that use a lot of backtracking, 2. I guess I could count 3 because there's a lot of gimmick fights. 4. 5 uses a little backtracking, not so much. 6 is very straightforward, I like it. 7 was the worst chapter in this entire game. X-Not Fortress OST is really good, but it was not worth my patience. And if you're going for full completion of this game, expect to backtrack a lot. That is the main issue I have with this game. But Thousand Year Door, honestly, I see what they try to do there. It does have a better battle system than the Paper Mario 1. But Paper Mario 1 is the one I tend to go to the most, or Super Paper Mario. Paper Mario 1 completion is very tolerable because it has less backtracking than this game. Sure, it has some fair share backtracking, but at least the engine didn't re-evolve around backtracking. But if you're into Paper Mario, I would recommend picking this up. If you're going for full completion, skip it. Oh, we got Pikmin 1. Pikmin 1, honestly, this is the whole thing that started the entire Pikmin trilogy. It's a very good one, very arcadey. In my personal opinion, the best one in the series. I've yet to play 3, but 2 was okay. But Pikmin 1, you can finish it. I think I 100% this one in 3 hours. I have a full completion single run stream on YouTube. But this was actually one of the first 3 games I got with the system. Luigi's Mansion being the second one, and the third one, you guys will see it. I got them all in one day. But, very solid title. Then we have Pikmin 2. This one takes a very big dramatic take, and I will dare to say this is a very solid title. Way more difficult and less arcadey. It's more involves more of an exploration kind of feel, which is not a bad thing. Very challenging. Honestly, I've only 100% completed this one once. I've done at least 8 playthroughs of this game, fully completed. So, and not only that, they introduced like purple and white Pikmin, which is really cool. I will stream this game one day, but I'm not ready for it yet. I still need some practice runs on it. So then we get into Pokemon Coliseum. Honestly, I don't know where the manual went, but this game is so difficult to finish, but easy at 100%, because while 100%ing, it's not a, well, no, I want to say it's easy at 100% because it's pretty difficult, but this was the first console game to integrate quote-unquote 3D adventure, although you are limited to what you can use for your utility. At least it has the best generation battle mechanics in my personal opinion, but don't be fooled by these 2 legendaries. You cannot get them in the main game. But I had a lot of fun with this one. I mean, despite it being very difficult, I enjoyed it. Then we get XD, shiny cover. This one's actually slightly more user-friendly because they took what the Shadow Pokemon mechanics that was pretty annoying to 100%, and they made it better with this one. Now, this one, in my personal opinion, I prefer Lugia over Ho-Oh. Yes, you could get Ho-Oh in this one, but XD was a really phenomenal game. Honestly, it's a little bit more tolerable than Colosseum's difficulty. However, I think I have a very strong bias with Generation 2, and you get most of the Generation 2 Pokemon in this one, but I like this one just as much, but for different reasons. Very solid title, good game. Yes, Star Fox Assault, the best Star Fox game ever made, to be honest. This is way better than the 64 version. But yes, I get it. Most people complain about Star, but Fox McCloud doesn't deserve to be on foot, blah blah. Have you played Smash Brothers? Thought so. But it's very different. I will admit though, it does get some time to get used to, but you can finish this game within 3 hours. That's how short it is, but multiplayer is where it's at with this game. This was originally meant to be a multiplayer only game, but then they implemented the single player at the very last minute. So pick it up while you can. It's a very good multiplayer game. Just my personal opinion. Super Mario Sunshine. A lot of people hated this game when it first came out because it's Mario cleaning other people's garbage and graffiti and whatnot. However, despite what people said, and I had a lot of friends who really hated this game during when it was still brand new, I really love this game. Okay, so the main reason why is because 2 reasons. This game came out literally, I think, 3 days after my birthday. I believe it came out August 27th. But we were at Toys R Us, my dad and I. He pre-ordered this game for me, and this was the very first pre-order game we've ever done. And not only that, it came with a free beach towel, which I can't find anymore because it literally just wore out. But this game is amazing because I loved it. I have a lot of nostalgia for this one. However, I can see why a lot of people don't like 100% in this game because blue coins, but I would dare to say this is one of the harder Mario games 100%, but I enjoyed it. It's one of the more nostalgic memories I remember have with this game. So, highly recommend it. Melee. Do I need to talk about Melee? I mean, wave dashing, chain grabs, ice climbers being broken, Jigglypuff being broken. Nah, this is actually the third game I got with the GameCube when it was during that Christmas holiday season. But Melee, despite it being rushed, they add a lot of content in this game. And have you ever noticed in every Smash game that came out with the full cover artwork on the front cover, Pikachu tends to be on the bottom? He must be an underdog. But not the main point though. This game added a lot more functionality, a lot more extra features like the trophy system, which I still approve of. But Ultimate took that out, unfortunately. But I have 100% of this game. Very, very good, solid game. Still a very competitive game to this very day. Tales of Symphonia, it's a real, it's an action RPG, JRPG game where it came with 2 discs because it's that big. Very difficult in the beginning. I raged quit, but I will return to this game someday after I finish Tales of Vesperia for the PS4. So I will go back to it eventually. I gotta talk to these games together because it's Beautiful Joe 1 and 2. Beautiful Joe is a beat 'em up game. I believe both of them are about 2 hours each. Maybe this one's slightly longer, but Beautiful Joe, honestly, this is Capcom's take of their Captain Falcon, which I kind of find that funny, but Beautiful Joe had an anime, which is really bad, by the way, but let me see. This one is pretty much you save the girl, it's damsel in distress, and blah, blah, blah. This one, you do have Sylvia integrated, and they have a lot of interesting puzzles. Like, these two are very, very different from each other in terms of gameplay, but super solid titles. Just letting you guys know, this game came out for the PS2. The only reason why I said only 4 because Clover Studios was doing this weird thing back then, but they're bought out now by Capcom. So, Beautiful Joe, solid titles, very short though. Let's see, WarioWare, Mega Pirate Games, no, Mega Party Games. It's pretty much a reamped version of the GBA game called WarioWare Inc. Micro Games. It's pretty much the same thing, except they added, instead of story mode, they pretty much integrated multiplayer. That's pretty much it. Oh yeah, if you guys are curious about the Beautiful Joe games, yeah. They're... one's pink, one's red. I find that very funny. Alright, then we get into Wario World. I've done a single 100% completion playthrough of this game. Very, very short game. It's pretty much 3D Wario, which is a very, very interesting, because Wario games have never been in 3D, except for this one. And I think that's why many people hunt this game, because how unique it is. I remember I got this one on my birthday. What year this thing came out? I think 2003. Yeah, so 2003 I got this game, you know, as a kid. It was during where a carnival was taking place, and I could care less about carnival. I just wanted to play this game. That's all I remember I had with that game when I was a childhood. Wave Race Blue Storm. This game looks amazing. I want to praise it for how good it looks, but the controls are way too tight. Now you may be wondering, but Frosty, tight controls are amazing. Well, if they're too tight, how can you really properly control the game? So the controls, I had a problem with it because, like, especially when you take your turns, it becomes very, very problematic. But very, very good looking game. It's one of the more cheaper GameCube games out there. And then the last game I have in my GameCube collection is Zoids Battle Legends. It's pretty much a action RPG game where you just like take down your opponent and such. I used to be a big fan of Zoids, but however, I kind of grew out of it. I have 100% of this game before, but it's difficult. So the only games I'm missing in this collection, which I can't find in the house for whatever reasons, Bomberman Generations, which is a more of a challenging game from Jetters. I'm missing Ultimate Muscle, New Legends versus Old Legends, New Generation versus Legends. That's a very good wrestling game. And I used to love Ultimate Muscle when I was a kid. And then I'm missing Star Fox Adventures, which is a game that used to be called Dinosaur Planet, but the main character from Dinosaur Planet looked like Star Fox, so that's why. It's a very good game though. And then the last game I think I was missing was Kirby's Air Ride. I cannot find that game for whatever reason in the house. Like, I looked all over for it and can't find it, but I have 100% of that game before. So if you're out to go out there right now to buy a GameCube, just note I'm not taking cheap budgets. If you're on the budget, I don't recommend these games because they're, as I already explained to you guys, the GameCube is very expensive. But if I were to recommend some games to you guys, and this is not in like top priority order, it would be these following games because I have a lot of GameCube games and holy frickles, it's a lot of games. I'm not going to be including Fire Emblem in this collection video because it's way too expensive. Not many people can afford it. So these are the following games I recommend, and this is for all audiences. So I'm just letting you guys know. So I have like pretty much 5 solid games for you guys. Wind Waker, enough said. Pikmin 1. You could also get Pikmin 2. However, I recommend you guys start with Pikmin 1. Star Fox Assault. I've already praised this game long enough. Especially, this game is mostly targeted, well, especially Pikmin 1 and 2. These are mainly targeted to college students because college students tend, especially for this generation, they tend to play like GameCube games a lot more than my generation, which was N64. And a little bit of GameCube, but yes, these two are very short games. That's why I recommend it to the general audience. Smash Melee, I mean, assuming you have friends, of course, but it has a lot of good single-player content, too. And Sunshine, I mean, Sunshine's a really good game. So, that's my entire GameCube collection, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a subscription button on YouTube. It helps the channel a lot, and it's free. If you really want to see any of these games live on Twitch, which I'm going to be starting Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, despite me not liking that game, it'll be live on Twitch. Just give that Twitch channel a follow button. Always appreciate it. Follow buttons for free on Twitch. And yeah, that's really all I got to say, guys. So all I got to say, ladies and gentlemen, is stay chilly. Keep gaming. Don't take my lunchbox. And I'll see you guys in the next one.